Hello and welcome into the SorareData Game Week 441 preview. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdino on Sorare, joined once again by Harry Trades. You can find us Harry Trades on Sorare. Today, talk about the return of so many nice domestic leagues. A game week we've all built lineups for weeks ago, and they are finally here. Thanks for everyone coming in. For everyone who is here live, Harry and I were just discussing the championship playoffs, and we couldn't remember if those are scored and counted on Sorare. Obviously, Optics scores them. We couldn't remember if they actually counted, and Harry kind of mentioned that the playoff rounds tend to be covered in other leagues, but for some reason, I thought I remembered those not counting. But anyway, if anybody remembers or wants to let us know, always helpful. Harry, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, mate.
What Charlie said they are scored, so we'll see. Sorare Helen, that's right. Finally, the wait is over. And Mike Baston, and Mike Baston with a comment that I can't show on the screen. So for those of you who, those are words that we don't use here, Mike, sorry. Harry, have you looked at the game week at all?
Yeah, I did have a little look. So what was it? Yeah, it was Tuesday yesterday. So yeah, after lock, obviously all the A's and the B's and the triple A's and stuff start flooding in, don't they? So yeah, no, I did have a little look, but like you said, yeah, I've been I've been sort of prepping these lineups for a little while. But it's just nice to see letters next to them because it just kind of solidifies, your thoughts, I guess, before they come in. But the bot or the AI did pick the team that I would have picked like as my strongest lineup for this weekend. So we're both on agreement in that, which is always fun.
So I'm glad you brought that up because we SorareData made an announcement yesterday that we've kind of changed the pick scores fairly significantly. We've done a few kind of improvements over the last 9 months that they've been out, but the latest one was big enough where we felt like we should have made an announcement. But basically, it makes the two biggest differences I think people will see are lower grades for players who aren't going to start, and I think that was one of the biggest issues we had, where L15 players of 0 having like a B grade or an A, and it's like, this guy's not going to play, he shouldn't. And kind of the counter to that was, if he plays, he's obviously like smashing his L15 costs and all that stuff. But we've basically taken that out. And what we have done is put in more analysis on players that do come off the bench, whether there are some players who never start, but they also always play. And that's different than a player who doesn't start and never plays. And we kind of treated them closer to each other as opposed to different. And then guys who are out should get basically Fs. And so that's a big difference. And then the other one is for cap competitions. We kind of lessened the emphasis on how much a player is predicted to outscore their L15 and more just make it a, yes, this is a good matchup, or it's not. So it actually will look closer to like their grade in All-Star as opposed to just based on their L15. Well, it wasn't just based, but so those are two improvements. If anyone sees anything wonky, like feel free to reach out to us and we can look into it. But we do think that the pick scores now are in a better place than they were literally yesterday. So check those out. Let's jump into the game week. We have a bunch of leagues back, as we said. Quick thing, no Asia, but we do have second division. Second division is back. Shout out to Sam Ty as we see Southampton here at the top at home against Sheffield Wednesday. If only the one player I had in that little bubble actually was going to play, I'd feel a lot more enthusiastic about it. But they are, let's see, 68% to win, 50% clean sheet, and 38% to score 3 goals. The 38% is the highest amongst second division. The clean sheet odds are the third highest behind 2 La Liga. We really got to change that from Smart Bank to Hypermotion. But they're there, Southampton, and then we've got kind of a mix of Serie B and Smart Bank. Anything jump out for you?
It's just, I just literally came to me then that those two top teams there in Southampton and Cremonese both have under 23 goalkeepers, which is a little random one, I guess, because, are we going to see, okay, our led goal doesn't seem fun, but He has been pretty good, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
unlucky.
yeah, and I don't know if we don't have Cremonese players, do we, licensed?
I don't think so.
So
I
you
mean, we
can
have a bunch, but I don't think that they're actual
okay.
Cremonese cards.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, obviously top two there. Could probably argue you won't see many Bazunus and their goalkeeper, outside of under 23. You might see a couple, but like it's an interesting one. Obviously, the outfielders for Southampton, they have quite a few just normal age players, which will be like, in the mix. Leeds away to Cardiff. I mean, it's not a great place to come for them. It's a bit of a rivalry as well, just in general. Not
Mm-hmm.
that means too much, but yeah, I feel like that might be a tough game for them. And then did we see? Auxerre's hiding. Okay, they play Bordeaux, which is probably not a great matchup, is it? Quite evenly matched there, but I don't know. Nothing really jumps out bar the Southampton one, really, does it?
Yep, not really. I think, and I forget which conversation this was going to come up, and I forgot to bring it up. But there was all this talk about what happened when Sorare introduced all the second division teams, and I think we've completely missed that Serie B is completely unlicensed. Like, there's not
True.
a single team that is actively licensed. We do have, I think it was Sampdoria. We have cards there and they play there now. And obviously with Cremonese, there are a lot of players that play there that have cards, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So Mike said Cremonese were licensed last season, and then they got relegated. So like, obviously we have those cards, but we're not getting any new Serie B cards. And we obviously know most of the championship is not licensed. And so not to make anyone feel better or worse, but it was like, they flooded the market with all these cards. And it's like, there were so many more cards that could have been here had they actually licensed all of La Liga, Smart Bank, or two Bundesliga, which obviously they do have those. So when we go through this list, it's like, wow, there are a lot of teams, but not all of these teams are licensed. We don't have full cards of all of these. So it doesn't, just like something to consider. And even Ligue 2 isn't fully licensed. And so Auxerre we have, and a bunch of others. Saint Etienne was just re-licensed, I guess I'll say. But yeah, stuff like that. Going down, Leicester and Ipswich, like near the top of the championship table, but obviously not near the top of this list because of their matchups. There's Saint Etienne, Tenerife, which is pretty popular.
I was just going to say, I said the top two are under 23. I think the top four are. Oviedo have Leo Roman in goals, I believe. And then Leeds obviously have Meslier, who was red carded. So I don't know actually if he's fully back. But yeah, technically all four of them do. Which is interesting.
We'll see the long list of U23 goalies when we get to our pick scores. But it's kind of funny that we went through this period of like not a lot, and then it's just going to like explode.
Just everyone.
Now that it's coming. And there's Hull. Speaking of U23 goalies, they just got a new one, but I'm not sure that's actually been official yet. So I don't expect.
I don't know how official it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But looking up All-Star Ivor. Ivor. Pandor is heading to Hull apparently. So yeah. Sorahan said Oviedo, who are at the top here, home to the last place, is at Emerbieta.
Yeah, that's who have an under 23 goalkeeper as well. I only know that because I have him as my Road to Glory keeper. So
there we go.
Yeah, but they are struggling big time.
What's up, Quinny? Carrie's here. Just joined, going to watch from the beginning. Now we'll get like the 5-minute delayed comments. But anyway, Mike Basson, interesting that Saint Etienne and Marseille still have individual licenses, not league affiliated ones, as the other teams in League 1 and 1 and 2 do. PSG must be similar. Do they have? I don't think there is a full like League 1, is there? For League 1 or 2?
No, we had like half, didn't we?
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought they were all club ones, but I'm not a licensing expert here. Jumping over to America, Liga MX is back. And I think we're only 2 weeks away from Argentina returning as well. We still got some time. We're still about 5 or 6 weeks out from MLS, so it's going to be Liga MX for a little bit. Monterrey, Pumas, and Guadalajara at the top, and it's really just Monterrey that's the big. Well, I guess Pumas are pretty big favorites as well, 58% and 67% respectively. This like as you can see here, I have cards from League MX, so these guys have been in the lineup builder for me for a while. And Patagol does point out no Tigres this week. They play midweek, which is really frustrating because if you have like a Tigres stack, then you're fine. But they won't play until next Wednesday, I believe, is when they open theirs. So is what it is.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the number of people I talk to that have Liga MX cards. It seems like everyone is going to play them in Champion America. And actually, I didn't even look to see what the reward. Like, that's how I was like, I'm playing this in Champion America, and didn't even look at the rewards, and just I happen to have five players that play, and I'm hoping that's enough. That's the extent of my research when it comes to it. So Rare Plus has 7 cards. Rare has 35, and Limited. I feel like this is never in an order that I think it should be in. There we go. 130 cards in Champion America Limited, which feels pretty good when you only have one league. And it's not even a fully licensed league.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that might be where all the where all the Mexican league teams and players congregate.
Yeah, like Monterrey is not even a licensed team, and so they have players, but they're the biggest favorite, but it's not like this overwhelming. We're like, oh yeah, I'll definitely play them in All-Star, but like not even most people don't even have like a Monterrey. There's no Monterrey stacks out there that are full teams anyway. So
yeah.
All right, Challenger Europe, PSV, 87% to win, 75% to score 3 goals, 56% clean sheet odds.
Yeah,
home against Excelsior.
I know it's an interesting one because, somebody said in the chat, obviously great to have most leagues back, but there's just some incredible matchups within them that if you're not a part of, it can be quite tough. And yeah, this is like I watched the PSV final game but probably a month and a half ago now. And yeah, like even between the best 2 teams in the league, they are just not miles better, but they are like considerably better. They just are. They beat them like 2-0 away, like or 2-1, whatever the score was. Like, but they were just never really under much pressure, and it was just like wow, like there's, and you can see in the league they've literally not lost a game, have they?
No.
I think have they dropped a point?
No,
I don't even think they have they? Yeah, they're on like a 4 point, something crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, 48
16
points.
of 16.
That is ridiculous, by the way. Like
6 goals conceded.
It's crazy. Like actually crazy. Goal difference 50. Like
after 16 games.
And then like Excelsior, again, unfortunately, I know these quite well because I have a couple of their players, and like all they do is concede goals. So like this is a recipe for disaster if you've not got PSV cards, I think.
I want to say that Feyenoord at home against NEC, so they're 82% to win, almost the same clean sheet odds, 62% to score 3 goals. Charlie here says NEC are no mugs. So
they're
maybe,
not.
that's probably why they're not.
I can vouch for that. I have a couple of these. Yeah, like Matten's been their star this year, and he's like absolutely flying. And I remember they played someone really good, and he said I didn't play him because I was like, there's just no way. And he ended up getting like 30 AA or something crazy, just through like tackles and stuff. Wasn't it
against
20?
PSV or
it might have been PSV?
One of them.
It was. It would have been. It was that 20 game where he scored 100. Before he had those 2 assists led, he was on like 35 AA. Like it was not even within like 25 minutes, and I was like, wow, okay, I'm going to regret this. And then lo and behold, the 2 assists came.
I mean, he still had 49.8 AA.
Ridiculous. 120 point game basically. They are no mugs, to be fair. Like they beat AZ, who, to be fair, aren't as good as last year, fair enough. But that one is a bit interesting. Like I can see Feyenoord maybe conceding a goal or 2 there. They'll probably end up winning the game because NEC will probably tire. But yeah, that PSV game is just miles ahead for me. Really, really is.
When you consider the teams you would expect to be good amongst the leagues that are playing right now, I feel like it's this list: PSV, Feyenoord, Benfica, Sporting, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, Ajax, Porto.
It really is, isn't it?
And then Warwick?
Wait, what's going on?
Home against Heracles. This is the time. All those Warwick stacks. Like, I keep going back and forth on this thought of, if you're somebody who's like, I want to get like a cheap stack, and you go with Warwick, and you're thinking the week they're home against Heracles, like that's my week. And then you get to the week and you're like, oh, PSV, Feyenoord, Benfica, Sporting, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, Ajax, and Porto all have better matchups. And it's like, well, oh well.
Yeah, that's the issue with like lesser team stacks, in the sense of like, you not only have to think how good your matchup is, it's like how good is it against others, which you have to think of anyway. But like, if you have a PSV stack, you don't need to worry about what else there is out there realistically. It's one of them situations where, yeah, it is quite tough if you look at it that way.
Yeah, it's not, and again, that doesn't mean to say that like a Warwick stack can't have a huge game.
Of course.
But that's not, I mean, other than Cap 240, it's not about getting a high score. It's about getting a higher score than other people. And the teams above them, there are just a lot of cards out there of those teams, even though some like Sporting and Benfica, well, I guess Benfica, we haven't seen new cards yet, but they are on the licensed club list.
Oh, are they?
Interesting. Like Sporting's not, but we still have a lot of those cards. So it's just like, man, like the only one that we would expect to kind of be up there is AZ, who are away to 20. But like, other than that, I'm scrolling down here. None of these teams in the lower part of the odds chart are ones where you would expect them normally to be up top. Like the ones who are normally at the top are at the top this game.
Literally. Yeah, I think the Benfica fixture is really good, to be fair. Obviously, like, it's third on the list, but like, I think the team they play, Accrua, however you pronounce it, like they're like 16th in the league or something. Like, they are not great. It's Rio Ave, sorry, yeah. So yeah, that could
also
be
not good though.
Yeah, they're not great. Yeah,
yeah.
So it's like, this could be smasher territory as well. How did Benfica get on last game? They won, didn't they? It was like they had like 2 or 3 disallowed goals. I think Rafa Silva had a couple disallowed, but he ended up getting a couple anyway. Yeah, that'll be like a 2-0 game, I think. So will the PSV game. Feyenoord, I think they concede personally.
Okay. At first, I thought you said 10-0, and I was like, "Wow!" But like, you literally didn't. Yeah, just 2-0. Yes, got it. Among this list, though, Sporting, Fenerbahce, and Ajax are all away. Everyone else are at home, and so if you're one of those away avoiders, those are them. Quick look at champion. I guess it doesn't have to be quick. Bayern Munich, Napoli, Atalanta, Lille, and Leipzig are your top 5. But if you're looking at teams, 60% to win or more, you can add Leverkusen, Inter Milan, Dortmund, Marseille, Man City, and Chelsea to that list. Man City away to Newcastle, still heavily favored though. All of these teams are coming back from their winter breaks, some a little longer than others. I think the Premier League one was like 3 days, but man, I hate seeing Bayern at the top.
It's just boring, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Great way to describe it. It's boring. Yeah.
It is boring. Hey, Hoffenheim are dangerous. Let's just keep it real. They score goals.
I mean, how dangerous are we talking here?
Like, they're always involved in goals. 3-0s, 3-1s, 3-1s. Like, 3-2.
Have they been shut out this season? Here it is.
No.
Oh no, that's last season.
Oh wow.
Good call. That's pretty impressive. Goals.
Yeah. Kramaric and Bebu, they'll be interesting. Like, no Kim Min-jae for Bayern. Definitely a miss. Don't get me wrong. De Ligt's coming in and he's just fine. But like, there's not much of a drop. But like, Kim Min-jae is actually really, really good. So
yeah, he is.
I don't know. we've seen it many times, haven't we? You know, Bayern are top of the list. You know, sometimes away and they'll end up losing 1 or 2-0. Like it just happens. It's football sometimes, but I do think this could be interesting.
Sorry, Josh, a Friday
Ooh,
cursed Kimmich red card. Who'd say no?
is it a Friday game as well?
I believe so.
12th of Jan. Yeah, it will be because yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Walwick
dangerous.
lead us into the game week, and then Bayern Munich on a Friday.
Hull. Yeah, it's interesting. Very, very interesting. I think they win the game, but I do think they'll concede a couple, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say a little 3-2, 4-2, just a Friday madness for them. The second one though, Napoli, they are struggling, by the way. Like things are not going right there right now at all. I know Salernitana aren't great at all, but like I don't know. It's just not going well. Look at that. Last 3 games haven't even scored a goal.
That's wild.
That's nuts. And before that, obviously, okay, won 2 games, but like lost 3. It's not looking good there. It really isn't.
Yeah, I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt before that, like away to Madrid, home against Inter, away to Juve is a bit tough, but like
it is, yeah.
At Roma, I guess, not being able to score against Monza at home and then losing 3-0 away to Torino.
Yeah, it's weird. Very strange. Kvashvia and obviously, Oshiman, who's away, I guess. Is he with the African Cup? So, like, yeah, they're just, goals have dried up. They've sold Almas. I don't know. Something weird's going on there.
It does seem a little weird.
That's like a fake one for me. Like, as far as like, they might win the game, but it's like, do I really see anyone scoring that well? Maybe Cravadonna, like, if anything. So, yeah, I'm not really having that one. And then Atalanta, they're always involved in goals, and so have Frosinone as well. Actually, they quite shocked a few. I mean, like, they've got a couple of interesting youngsters that have on loan, and they've been. I mean, okay, they've lost the last couple of games, but they're scoring goals.
They're scoring.
Like,
no, they're scoring.
Yeah, like they're not going out, without a fight type of thing. And yeah, I don't know.
Pat of goals with you. Goal galore there.
Goals galore. Yeah, I think that'll be goals. Leo Lorient feels interesting. Like that feels like a Chevalier clean sheet, and David maybe big chance miss, but he like finally scores maybe in like the 90th, something like that. You could just some of these things just happen far too often for me to not like
to nothing.
Predict them. Yeah, like they won like 12-0 midweek though. Did you see that? They beat some team from like an island or something.
Didn't David have 5 goals or something like that?
I think he scored a lot, didn't he? Yeah, he had a couple.
My son actually pointed that out. He was like, "Dad, look what Jonathan David did." And I was like, "What are they even playing?" And it was like, "Oh, okay. I get it now." So amongst those teams mentioned earlier, 60% or more to win, Leverkusen, Inter, Dortmund, and Man City are away. Everyone else at home. Let's see, as we keep going, it's kind of, I mean, these are all fairly good setups. Sevilla away to Alaves, Brest at home against Alaves, Brest home against Marseille. No, I'm sorry, Montpellier. Monaco at home. Girona against Luis Maximiano, so surely that'll be a few goals. It feels like there are going to be some higher scoring games this week. Look at the Burnley. Home against Luton. Still no respect for Luton.
That is wild. I think it's wide open, personally. I think we could see just
looks like a lot of ways to score points.
Yeah, like there's going to be some random 80 pluses everywhere, basically, I think. And I don't necessarily think like a stack is going to like smash it. It might be, a 5-man lineup of 3 different teams, or whatever that looks like. I don't see one team dominating too much. Obviously, Bayern is hard to look past, but I still think they concede. I really do.
I mean, Hoffenheim do not get
exactly.
Simple as that. I did want to point one thing out. Gator Guy pointed this out to me the other day because I happen to have a Jonas Hoffman card.
Yeah.
Jonas Hoffman's home and away splits are wild. And if you so at home, he averages 69.5,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
away, he's at 49.5.
Jesus Christ.
And granted, some of these are sub appearances, but if you look, even just like he's basically had one good game
Yeah.
away and
Mm.
happened to come against his old team. But like Bayern, he drew a penalty, but like 4 AA away to Mainz, 4 AA away to Wolfsburg, -3 basically away to Hoffenheim. I guess he had a good game away to Bremen, 28
Yeah.
AA. But
Yeah.
otherwise, like, and I think the other ones were mostly Europa League matches where they weren't Europa. That's what they're in, right? Yeah. So
Ooh, Mohammed just pointed out an interesting point, which we will get back onto Hoffman, but the Spanish Super Cup final, which won't be in on SorareData yet, obviously, because we don't know who's in the final, but
right, right.
that'll be interesting.
I mean, realistically, it's just another El Clasico, right?
You'd think so, unless Atletico can do something tonight. Yeah, is it? I guess it's obviously one leg semi-finals, isn't it? It has to
Yeah.
be.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You probably think so, when you, which is fun-ish. But yeah,
It,
obviously matchup wise, it's not great.
right. Like it's fun, but
Yeah,
we're not going to think like, oh, let me go get my Madrid guys in because they're playing Barcelona in Saudi Arabia.
yeah, it's just not happening. But
Yeah.
are you going to play your Hoffman? Is my question.
I mean, surely somewhere, but
Right.
I, you would think that a partial set piece taker for the, what is that, sixth highest favorite of anyone in Champion Europe, you would play them. But like those home away splits really mess with my head now. Like specifically Hoffman. Like I know that there are a lot of players are there, but man, I don't know. Mike Baston's wondering if there is a third, fourth place game for the Spanish Super Cup. I don't know.
It's a good
But I also
question.
don't
That is.
think like Atletico Madrid, Osasuna is going to lead to a lot of fantasy points either.
Probably not, no. But it's utility.
Yes. Yes. It is utility. Cap 240. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check out some pick scores. We'll do the top players first, and then we'll go to the long list of U23 goalies that we always like to do. So new pick scores, Harry Kane at the top. Seems like it's working.
Yeah, it's doing its job.
Doing his job. Bakayoko from PSV up there. That, I mean, when you're 1,000,000% to win, that's fine. Mbappe, Taylor, Hardwood, Dallas. I mean, again, Southampton, biggest one
He's been
there.
smashing as well, to be
Actually,
fair.
the one thing I did want to bring up, and Akturgalu there from Galatasaray kind of reminded me of it. Like we did see the bigger Turkish clubs high up on the odds list, but they've played a ton of matches recently. Like
Yeah,
as
they
we
don't
know,
stop.
they just keep playing now. Do you think of like rotation much? It doesn't seem like a lot of teams rotate a ton, but like there's some.
Especially the ones that will have like Europe creeping up soon as well, whenever that sort of
Yeah.
comes into play. Like it does catch up with you. I don't know. Yeah, the Gala one's interesting. They don't seem to. I don't follow them too much, but they, the main boys always seem to play Atteroglu and whoever
Yeah.
in those attacking roles. Like there's a bit of rotation, obviously, but like those main ones that you want to count on seem to pop up every game week.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're right about that. Ricky said, does the Cap 220 month-long start this weekend? It's supposed to.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
SR Monkey posted about it yesterday. I don't know if he's gotten a response from Sorare. I did notice yesterday, though, that the Cap 220s are empty in terms
Oh,
of
wow.
prizes, which should be the case. But there's also no, I don't think weren't they in the custom leagues last time?
They were, yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing in the custom leagues now. And let's see, can I even enter Cap 220? I mean, I guess you can enter it. So maybe they figured out a way to make it so that you can just play the regular Cap 220. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they didn't just forget about it.
I was going to say, obviously, we're kind of skipping over African Cup of Nations, if that's something you don't really. Because I was going to say that's not going to come up, is it, in Champ and Challenger?
You're absolutely right. And I meant to bring it up because when you go to All-Star, Ivory Coast are the 5th highest favorite
I
of
know,
the
yeah,
entire
they're up
tournament.
there. I
Yeah. And
know.
so, yes, thank you for bringing that up. SR Monkey said it does start this weekend. Sorare will announce later today in the pitch notes.
Of
Where
course.
we expect all announcements. Anyway, yes. So Ivory Coast, there's Senegal, Nigeria, who are mixed in like odds wise with a lot of the teams that we've already talked about. We have not seen any. Let's see. I'm trying to see who the next one is.
Burkina Faso.
Oh, there you go. Burkina Faso. Yeah. So we haven't seen anything about like an AFCON special weekly or specific AFCON competition. They did have one last time. Like
Interesting.
don't ask me why, but I saw the announcement last year when they like announced coverage, and they did have one.
Yeah.
But generally, yeah, those players are in. You'll play them in All-Star or any global competition, All-Star, U23, and the cap modes. But yeah, there are some pretty significant favorites. And do you have a good source for predicted lineups for AFCON?
Not really, no, to be
Me
honest.
neither. Like a lot of people have asked me, and I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah,
But I
it
also
could be
haven't
tough.
really looked. But
Sports Mall might be decent. That's normally pretty good.
okay.
They just, yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually had a look if they've done any. I'm sure they would have. Let's have a look. Preview just quickly. No, they don't. Turkish League. Yeah, no, they don't.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. So we'll see. It might also be one of those that it's not until Friday that we really get any sort of reasonable news. And so we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for bringing that up, though, because I did completely forget about it. Let's check out U23 goalies. I feel
this could be. It's going to be a big list.
Wow.
Very big list, or long list. Yeah, Trubin is the big one, I think. Bazunu as well.
Yep.
Yeah, he's there, obviously. Leo Roman against Amobieta. Jungdal, obviously, at home for Cremonese. Petrovic, interesting. I forgot that he still qualifies, isn't he?
Yep. He's been great, too.
He's been good. Yeah, he has been really good. I'm pleased for him, actually. Just, doing that MLS transition situation. Obviously, Porto play Braga, which is tough, to be fair. But that is the type of game where, like, if he does get the clean sheet, Costa, he gets like 75, 80 because he would have probably made a couple of saves.
Yep.
I don't really foresee. I think Braga probably do score, to be honest. But if they don't, he could be on for a nice little dark green one there. Chevalier clean sheets, I think, is pretty likely. The rest, I mean, Trafford maybe against Luton could be a sneaky one. Feels like anyone could get. Honestly, it's weird. Like none of those matchups are like incredibly bad. The Ajax situation's interesting. There he is, the boy, Kampala.
Yeah, Rui started a cup game, right? Or it was I don't know what they were.
Yeah, it was like like a friendly maybe or whatever. But yeah, obviously, Romanj might be getting bombed. Not.
I think, I saw someone post the other day that they were like, U23 sorted, and they had Ramaj, and I was like,
oh, really?
That doesn't seem so sorted to me, but
yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, there are plenty. Goalkeeper is not the easy win for U23 this week. I'll put it that way.
Big scores this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Bakayoko's and the Southampton defensive stack's the worry for me, not having Bellis. That one's going to be tough to like overcome. But I say that I have Teze. Like I do have some of the big ones as well that could sort of do well, defensively outside of Bellis, who's been incredible. Somerville. It's actually interesting. I'm in a really interesting position. I've got like Savio there, Teze there. If you go down a little bit more, I'm sure we'll see Quinton Timber somewhere where he was a AAA at some point. Okay, yeah,
double
A now.
Top double A.
Fair enough. And I've actually got that Alan Montas randomly. I won his card as like a tier 4, maybe. Like, it was literally the weekend before. No, was it the week Mexico finished? I'll tell you now. It was. Well, it says 2 months ago, so I couldn't tell you exactly when. But
It sounds
regardless,
like
I have his.
when they finished. Yes.
Yeah, and like I have his card, and apparently he has a great matchup at home. So I'm here for it. Like he's
There
being
you go.
played
Yeah.
somewhere.
I
Yeah.
bet you are.
Marato, actually, one of my recent purchases. So yeah, this week, if I can't win something this week, then I might as well just hang up my boots because I've got too many AAAs, which I'll be honest, even though I have like, a decent sized gallery, I never really have like this many AAAs, like where like the matchups are like 75%, swaying one way. That never seems to happen for me, like across the whole 5 players. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, it's just we just have some overwhelming favorites that have a lot of U23 players. So that's really funny because Harry and I were talking about whether U23 was worth playing and how they're not any good players anymore. And here they're just all smashing on the top of the list here. So let's check out Cap 240, see what sort of players pop up here. It's going to be, like I said, it'll be very similar to All-Star now at this point. And frankly, I would say that the cost filter will probably get some more use now of people who are like, oh, who's the best player under 50? Just a reminder that you can use that here. So yeah, actually, let me do exactly 50. That takes Turgaloo out, but oh my gosh, your boy!
I know he's the boy. I'm telling you, he's the boy this weekend. Apparently, centre back. He looks like he's gonna start, and yeah, things are looking up.
Yeah, that Rafa Guerrero looked just really, man, 43.
Is he starting?
I think he's fit now, finally. So
okay.
I forgot they had been playing him in midfield also.
Interesting. Yeah, he does. He does play in midfield sometimes.
I feel like they have 4 mid, like they play Limer, Kimmich, and Guerrero in the midfield, and any one of the the right back situation. This is backwards, obviously. Davies and Upamecano should be switched here.
Yeah. Pandor just moved, apparently. Sorare Holland just said.
There we go. Just in.
It's official. Just in.
Jonathan B asked when the pitch notes are normally. I have no idea. There's no normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You got anything else?
Not really, mate. No, to be fair, it should be a fun game week. Lots of high scores, I assume, and yeah, back to normal for us, I guess.
Yeah, feels like definitely a high scoring one with all these overweighted teams that are heavily minted, and I don't have enough of them. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and so as a reminder, these pick scores, and obviously these are our new pick scores, but they'll update throughout the game week. We're doing this early Wednesday, and so by Friday things could be a little different, just in terms of odds or players who we find out are out. And so just because a player has a good pick score today or a bad one today doesn't mean it won't be good by Friday. So just make sure you keep checking all of that out. So yeah, Harry, thank you again, and everyone else, good luck.
Good luck.